Hello and welcome. My name is Faith Imai and this is The Breakfast Show on TSL Nigeria TV.
Welcome back. Now we've seen people create and sustain a niche for themselves in diverse business areas of life. When you think of sugar, cement and certain foods, you think of Dangote. Telecom reminds you of Mike Adenuga. And oil and gas brings the likes of Femi Otedola and Folorunsho Alakijo to mind. It's totally impossible for you to talk about the Nigerian music industry without mentioning the likes of Davido, Tiwa Savage, Don Jazzy, Tubaba and so many others. Now, it is very, very safe to say that we are familiar with people that choose to start and blossom in a particular business sector and then probably diversify in future. However, today on The Breakfast Show, myself and my amazing co-host, Faith Imani, we are joined by a guest. Our guest is a radio personality, a radio presenter. He's a radio presenter, an entrepreneur, a farmer with so many other portfolios in the person of Zeus. Mr. Churchill, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Churchill.
How are you guys doing?
Welcome.
Now, I have so many questions bubbling in my head, but I want to start from the basics for you. I know growing up, we all had a career choice. Most of us would say we wanted to become a nurse or a doctor, and then most of us find ourselves on TV today. Life happens. So what was it for you growing up? What did you want to become, and is it part of your many portfolios today?
Growing up, in a typical African family, you either want to be a doctor or be an engineer.
One of those professions.
One of those professions. So growing up for me, my mom and my dad always wanted me to be a doctor.
Oh. Doctor.
Yeah, so that didn't actually happen. So at some point, then before the post-UME era, that actually, made it possible for you to actually get the admission a warrant or something where you could get. Then it was more like, who do you know in the university sector to get admission into school? So I couldn't get into the med school. But I simply told God, like, well, you think I'm going to function very well, just let me just go there. And then eventually I got a course in the medical sector too, not really medicine per se. I was one of those sub-courses in medicine. And then that's what I did. But there was still this whole desire, like, when you finish this course, you should, my mom was like, when you finish this course, you should probably go back and, to medicine, but that also didn't eventually happen. At some point, I also wanted to be a pilot. When I said in the airport, in Murtala Mohammed Airport, so it was so easy seeing pilots and seeing these guys make a huge amount of money every month. I'm like, this is where I should be. You know? At that point in time, they were making close to like 800 grand a month, and I'm like, I think this is what I should be doing in my life and all that.
Wow.
But like you mentioned, life happens, and here we are. Technically not a doctor, but I train doctors now. I mean, I teach in a medical school.
Okay.
Right? So I train doctors, dentists, pharmacists, optometrists, the list goes on. And also growing up, I've always had a knack for entertainment. I used to write songs, started from writing songs to a point for a girl, and then
it has to be a girl.
And then, yes, it's always a girl. And then eventually, because of the fact that my mom was trying to streamline me to go into the medical sector, I had to put that life on hold.
Yeah.
But after I was done with school, being a man of my own now, I decided to like, okay, the whole singing thing didn't really work out for me. So I discovered that people always say that, oh, girls used to wash me back then and say, you have a nice voice, you should try radio, you should try radio. And that's how, it's a long story. So I performed on an event, and then some of the people on TV and radio met me after. I was like, oh, great job. And that's how I started considering the fact, like, maybe these things these girls are saying, probably there's some truth to it.
Yeah.
Maybe I should probably venture into radio. And that's how I got into radio. And then I'm the kind of person that wherever I go, I always look at business opportunities. Like, you can do this and make money out of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how I'm an entrepreneur, venture into different business. If the goal is to make money, I mean, the goal is actually to make money for me. And, legit money. So for me, I always like to, see how I can make my money, the ones I've saved so far, work for me and double or triple.
Yeah.
That's how it's been for me so far.
You do a whole lot. Sitting here right now, I've remembered something else you do. You own a shoe line. Yes, Churchill shoes. Now that's beautiful. And you are also a fish farmer.
Yes.
You are also a radio person. You host events. You recently signed a deal.
Yes.
And you teach. Now this is a lot. a lot of things. How are you able to juggle these personalities? Because the teacher is not the radio guy, he's not the hype man, he's not the farmer. You're a teacher. Exactly. So you have to be Zeus in the evening, Mr. Churchill in the morning. You have to deal with students, then you have to deal with fans, then you have to deal with work, you have to deal with staff.
Workers, staff, and all that.
It's a whole lot. How are you able to manage all of this?
I mean, first of all, if you have this, like I mentioned, the knack is to make money. If you want to really make money, you'll be able to strategize and plan out your time. So there's something growing up. I've always had this thing in my head. Growing up, I liked Ben Carson a lot and all that, and I read some of his books and all that, and I discovered that everyone has 24 hours. We all have 24 hours. It's what you use, how you make use of your 24 hours that differentiates you from one person to the next person, right? So that being said, I discovered what differentiates a rich person from a poor person is what they use with their time. So for me, I always try to maximize my time. So I know I have 24 hours in a day. What I simply do is like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I do this. I strategize and allocate time. Time for fish business, radio business, teaching. So when I'm in the teaching mood or when I'm in the university campus, the whole radio business is on hold for at that point in time.
Okay.
Right. Then when it gets to the weekend or the evenings, when for time for radio, I switch into that mood. It's quite difficult to actually create this balance.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm sure there are downsides to this.
There are downsides. Trust me, there are downsides. But for me, it hasn't been easy to switch between personalities and juggle between businesses, because sometimes some of the businesses will probably not get to their maximum, or some of the careers may not get to their maximum full potential.
Exactly our question today on the show, because on the show today the question is jack of all trades, master of none, or master of all. Do you think it is possible to be a jack of all trades and master of all?
You know, the funny part about this topic is my mom used to say this thing to me.
To you?
She used to say this thing to me. And I've also grown to always like to be positive and speak positively. So I told her, like, you know, I wouldn't have a chat with her like last week. I think I should open a dry cleaning session. I want to use this place to open a dry cleaning section and all that. And she was like, you want to do this, you want to do this, you want to do this, master of, you know.
Okay, so she feels jack of all trades, master of none. But you feel jack of all trades, master of all.
I used to reply her. This is the honest truth, and I pray she gets to see this. When she says jack of all trades, I used to reply. Truth be told, master of all. I used to just always reply.
Can you really be the master of all? Because I feel, you know, every parent has a favorite child, even though they will never come out to say that this is my favorite child. But every parent has a favorite child, and obviously, out of all your babies, you would have one that is so dear to your heart.
That takes more of your time, the attention, and everything.
Their downsides. So do you think you're able to keep up on equal grounds with everything that you have going on?
Even if I spoke earlier about effective time management, how you allocate time and distribute time to different areas, it's still not 100%. You can't, like, give them 50% attention, 70% attention. Yeah, but it's like you said, every parent has a favorite child. I have some of my favorites.
So which is your favorite?
The one that pays the bills the most.
Oh, very important.
The one that pays the bills the most.
Which is that?
Which is the teaching and lecturing thing for me, which takes care of majority of my bills. And then the radio thing also, you know, is come close to my, because that one is out of passion, out of love for it. I know that it's best when you do something that you enjoy and get some small bucks here and there. And the farming thing is all brought out from business, and also to, you know, agriculture is the way. I mean, when you're providing something that people need, you always be relevant. And all that. And then the shoe thing. I was in the place one day and I saw this guy. He makes shoes, and like I said before, like, I always see business opportunities in anything, where I am, whenever I am, and all that. So the guy makes shoes. Like, I saw the guy's product. Like, you make shoes? I don't know how to make shoes. I don't. So I was able to gather these guys together that make shoes. Give them the necessary raw materials that they need. Like, this is what you need to make good shoes. How can we step it up? How can we make great shoes that long lasting, not the one that you pass through, rain falls today and it starts pulling off and all that. And then we harness these ideas, and then I was able to get the raw materials for them, and then say, okay, you know what? I like my name to be on it. I mean, this is people we talk about, Versace and all this Gucci, they're all people and their names on it. So I was like, okay, why didn't you call it
your own brand?
My own brand. Since we're buying the raw materials, branded and all that. So that's how that also came about.
But you consider yourself like a legit Nigerian hustler, or are you doing this out? Because I've heard you say where the money is, where the money is. So is it out of passion for you, and you don't want to like betray any of your passion? So you're choosing to just do everything at once. Or is it just hustle? You're trying to make ends meet.
Trust me. I think it's a combination of both. I mean, I mentioned before, radio is passion.
Yeah.
Radio is passion. I mean, I don't know if I can use this video to say that. I wish, radio presenters could be paid more. Maybe
we wish we could be paid more.
We wish we were paid more. I know that. But so radio, some of the things are out of passion. Even teaching for me is out of passion. I mean, when I was doing my youth service, I used to go to companies to give lectures, and that's how I knew that maybe this was something I should do. And when I go to give lectures in companies, I used to get this, great commendation, like great job, nice lecture, and all that. So, I think the combination of both, right? Like, you being a hustler for me is all about how do we step up, how do we make money, how do we triple or double our income. And that's
and I think while you're thinking about that, you should not just venture into something you do not have interest in. I think the interest and the passion is the first thing. Then let your passion pay you. Do you ever wake up any day feeling like, hey Zeus, you're doing a lot, it's not that deep, I think I need to cut down on some of the things I'm doing and just focus on one thing?
To shock you, so I didn't mention this, I also have like a photographic thing, but it's not
that's true.
It's not flying.
It's
not flying because
that's suffering. That one is suffering.
Okay, because to be honest, I really don't know jack about photography, but I saw so I have friends that do photography, and they tell me sometimes they charge a client 350,000 naira for a wedding.
Why I feel it's the money for you, because the money motivates you more than.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if the goal is to make more money, you start thinking, so you mean one wedding you can get 350 grand, and then I started studying everything, like what the cost of what they used for the wedding. They probably spend up to like 100,000 and like 200,000.
How much profit is coming?
And like, yo, I think photography is the thing, man. And then I decided to venture into it, got camera and all that, but it still didn't fly because
it's not your passion.
It's not my thing. So that area is suffering right now because it's not really my thing.
It may probably suffer forever.
I'm glad you're honest enough to admit that there are downsides to it, and it doesn't always work out. But I'm curious to know, everybody's asking us when they see this money, when you have like 5,000 naira, people are thinking that you're a millionaire. So how do you keep up? Because I know the economy is not so favorable to a lot of businesses right now. People are complaining, there's no money, there's nothing to fund my business, but you're doing so many things. You've mentioned more than 10 things that you're doing at once. How do you keep up with this? How do you get the money? How do you get the funds to boost your businesses?
I mean, it's not like there's so much money. So like I said, you save up for what you get something from something. Some people would like to get expensive things, jewelries, all that stuff. For me, it's all about I had this roommate, so I learned something really early when I was in uni. That was when I was in 200 level, 300 level. So I had this roommate. Then stocks and shares used to be the thing in Nigeria, used to boom then. So we got this money, all of us got equal amount of money. I can never forget, it was like 30,000 naira then. We all roommates and got equal money. Me, then DVD just came out. I want to buy DVD in my room. That was not my thing.
to play
music, buy DVD. And this guy went ahead and bought shares with his money. And then he said something to me. You see now, my shares will double or triple. All right? Your DVD, your bought
probably
DVD,
be outdated. Light to blow it.
You can't go and sell the DVD for the same amount of money you bought it in the first place. And then I saw sense in what he said. For me, once I get, it's not that I have so much money, to honest truth. Once again, even if it's as low as 50,000 naira or 30,000 naira, I have this in my head, like this 30,000 must work for flex. This money, this 30,000 or 50,000 must bring an extra 20,000 naira. So we cannot flex 20,000, we'll be chilling, like, okay, I'm flexing 20 out of the 30,000 naira brought. So you understand? So that's how it has always been for me. It's not there's so much money, but once you get money, you just know you have to cut down your expenses. You don't lead the La Vida Loca lifestyle. You
lavish.
So even if you get 30,000 or 50,000, I mean, my shoe business didn't even cost me to start up my shoe brand or shoe line. It didn't even cost me close to like 70,000, 80,000. To be honest, it didn't even cost that amount. The skills were already there. So I got them involved in some form of contract or binding. Like, okay, you'll be making this stuff for me. I'll buy the necessary raw materials. This thing's like that, but just go buy the necessary leather stuff that you need and all that. And then you make 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't need to make 100. Just make 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you sell. collect the cost of producing one, and keep some money for logistics and everything, and then you reinvest the other money and keep some part of it for yourself.
Yeah.
So that's how it's like. So even the fish thing didn't really luck I had was that there was this man that already had a pond, like a big farm.
Okay.
So what I did was to lease the place. Like, okay, I want to use, you already have the structure and all that. Then how much would it cost to buy fingerlings? Okay, this amount to cost to buy fingerlings. We found out that the money I used to buy fingerlings at my first time was not up to 30,000 to buy fingerlings.
Wow.
But the crazy part of our fish business is the money for the feed.
Okay,
which was quite expensive.
Yeah, that's
quite
true.
expensive. So it was a battle for me, sustaining that business, because there were days I would not eat. My fish should be eaten, to be honest. There was no jokes.
Very interesting. I don't know called your business is your baby, so that counts.
There were some days where I spent 6,000 a day, and for me personally, just to buy feed. For me personally, I've not even spent 1,000 for myself that day to feed. So it's all the sacrifice. Like, okay, I know that at the end. But for me, sorry, this is what keeps me going. I'm always punching calculators. So okay, if I sell this like times 2, give me this. Okay, let me just chill. Don't worry, let me just chill.
Oh my God.
So that has always been for me.
Wow. We're going to have more conversations with you. Although time is fast spent, but I'm enjoying this conversation. I love to talk about business, especially in Nigeria. They will tell you must have a side hustle. And this is a young man who has a lot of side hustles. Now, there's this thing we do on Instagram. We get to post a question and we get your reactions. Big shout to everyone who has dropped a comment. We asked, can you do a side hustle and have a career path and have other career paths and be successful in all? And we had comments, hilarious comments, I would say. Now, I'll read out some. Madonna Luxury said, well, aside my 8-to-5 job, I'm a jeweler and a chef. All 3 jobs are very tasking. Zeus has mentioned that, to say the least. So I try to focus mainly on my corporate work. I'm sure the corporate work pays more. I doubt it's possible for me to give equal attention to the 3. I really don't know for how long I can consistently keep up. But for now, I'm just trying to make ends meet, which is very important. We all need that money. Now, Lola Derogba is saying, I run 2 things at the same time, but all I just need is a perfect timing, because this Nigeria, the hustle is real, but it all depends on your income and the type of job, because it's not compulsory to have more than a career path if you are earning big figures. So if one is paying you a lot, this person is saying that if one is paying you a lot, no need to do the rest. Okay. Except maybe you told yourself, I cannot pass through this earth without being a radio presenter or without being a fish farmer or stuff like that. We have more comments.
Yeah, Austin Jane F says, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. Yes, I want to pursue as many careers as possible. And Chief _Emeka says, I don't think you can master more than one, because others will have to suffer for the growth of one, except they are all side hustles and no real passion for them. And the last comment we'll be taking for today, Eden Omefe 5 says, jack of all trade is indeed master of none, but there's no harm in being jack of some trade. Wow, I'm hearing this for the first time. Jack of some trade.
Okay, so let's talk about your work, the one you say you love the most, the one you say pays the bills. Teaching. How is teaching like, let me use the right word, lecturing, because when I say teaching, people think it's a secondary school. Lecturing, how is it like in Nigeria? Because there are a lot of complaints. I believe you lecture in a public tertiary institution, and there are a lot of complaints and challenges that the lecturers encounter, the students encounter. Does it exasperate you? Because, you know, being a teacher or a staff of a public place, you cannot just opt and leave. It's not like you cannot do it, but it's a task. Before you make that decision, your family members will ask you, are you crazy? You want to leave this job, pensionable job? So do you feel sometimes like if it was a public university, there are other things that would have been in place? Do you think it's too challenging, or you're just there because at the end of the day, I'll still get my pay? What is it like for you as a teacher?
It's difficult. I mean, in Nigeria, teaching in Nigeria, it's difficult because some of the basic things you need for efficient teaching are not put in place. Most of the time, you talk about, as a teacher, you're supposed to do research, right? And most of the time, even if the government puts certain strategies in place, like the TED fund for you to assess funds to actually do research, it's not easily accessible for everybody.
Yeah.
You still need to find a way or something, or put in your research proposals and trust me, there are lots of lecturers in Nigeria. So how many are they going to grant?
Take at the same time.
And all that. So that is why that sector is suffering. So most of the time, I'm looking at this in terms of research output compared to other parts.
Because I know you love to do research a lot. You love to do, time is fast spent. We'll definitely have Zeus again. Because I remember one time I was following you keenly on social media. You were not around, you traveled somewhere. And normally when people go on holiday, they want to relax. But you were not, I know you relaxed a bit, but you were out there doing research. And I know it was easier for you because you were not in Nigeria, but you want to do research in Nigeria and it's really tasking. I know exactly how you feel. Trust me. So what do you have to say to young people out there? This is how I always love to end the show when we have young people. What do you have to say to them? Do you have any words of encouragement, or you just tell them, do as I say, don't do as I do? What do you have to say to young people out there?
To be focused is like to be focused because the future is way more than the past. So whatever mistakes you've made in the past, do not dwell in the past. Keep the future in focus and suffer now. Maybe to use the word suffer now, or pay the price now for the future that you desire ahead. So that's what I would say. Just pay the price now for that future that you desire.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Churchill Ine, aka Zeus, for coming on the show today. It's been an amazing time.
I had fun, trust me. I've learned one or two things.
A lot. And we'll still have a conversation after the show. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Now, to all our amazing fans, I say thank you. TSL Nigeria TV loves you so much. Thank you for following us on social media. Thank you so much for reading our blog post. You rock. Do not forget, we have daily posts on our blog, www.tslnigeria.tv. Follow us on all the social media handles at TSL Nigeria TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, very important, at TSL Nigeria Space TV. My name is Faith Imai. Till we come your way again, stay safe.
Stay connected to TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on TSL Nigeria Space TV and join our online family.